everyone. My name is Elise Gamble, and this is my channel about living with type 1 diabetes. So grab your juice boxes and let's go. Welcome back. So I've created this channel as a platform for me to share my experiences and to offer some tips and tricks, life hacks, and just how to manage and deal with everyday life as a type 1 diabetic. I am not a professional, so if you have any medical questions, please seek medical advice from your doctor or call 911 if you're having an emergency. But today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my own journey and how we got here today as a type 1 diabetic. I have a little bit different story than most people. As most of you know, type 1 diabetes is also called juvenile diabetes. Well, I had adult onset diabetes. I was 34 years old. I was pregnant with my first child. I went in for my glucose test at 28 weeks, where they make you drink this disgusting liquid and then they test your sugar an hour later to make sure that you don't have gestational diabetes, which presents very similar to type 2 diabetes, which we'll get into in a different episode. But so I went in, I got my blood sugar tested, and they called me in the middle of the night. They're like, "How are you feeling? Are you doing okay?" And I'm thinking, "Yeah, I'm fine. Why?" And they're like, "Your sugars are at 718. I'm like, "Okay," because I don't know what that means. And they're like, "You need to get to the hospital right now." So I go into the hospital and they're telling me that my sugars are just far too high, that I have gestational diabetes, all of this stuff. I'm in there, I feel fine. They're like, "You don't feel sick at all?" I'm like, no, I don't. Turns out once they brought me down, after they started giving me insulin and I believe it was potassium that they gave me in my IV, I started to get very ill. I got shaky, I started to feel faint, my heart pressure dropped. So I went from being at a 718 down to about a 120, which is where they want people in the normal range. I also had a whole bunch of tests done, and they said, "Why did this happen? How did we not catch this before?" Well, it turns out during pregnancy or a big stressor on your body, you can develop type 1 diabetes. Or they also say that if you catch like a virus or something, it can trigger your immune system to start attacking itself. Either way, I don't know how I got it, but they ran all my tests and they said you have islet cells, which are one of the autoimmune antibodies that present in type 1 diabetes, not type 2 or gestational, meaning my pancreas is essentially attacking itself so that I cannot produce insulin anymore. Huge shock for me. All of this is going on and they're telling me this could have caused huge, deformities in your child. We're surprised your child is even alive. We're going to have to do all of these tests. So my heart is, in my butt. I'm so exhausted and tired and worried emotionally for my child. So we did a whole bunch of tests. Turns out my son was fine. He measured a little bit small, which is unusual for somebody with such high blood sugars for so long. I had an A1C of 11.5, which is not great, and had to be educated all within like 24 hours of saying, here's what it means to be a diabetic. Here are what insulin looks like. Here's how we're going to do shots. This is now your eating plan. You need to count carbs. It was overwhelming. I was still kind of not accepting that I had it. I was like, oh, it was just going to go away after pregnancy. It was really a lot. I had my husband and my mom who came into the hospital with me and talked me through it and said, we're going to do this all as a team. So when I got out of the hospital, I could continue to make healthy life choices, all of these things. And The one question I get a lot is, how come you didn't notice? How come you didn't have any of the symptoms that anybody else did? Well, some of the symptoms are you get really tired, you start to lose weight, you're really hungry, you're really thirsty, and you go to the bathroom a lot. Well, other than weight loss, I did experience all of those, but I was pregnant, and those are very similar, uh, symptoms to pregnancy, especially in the third trimester, being tired, having to go to the bathroom a lot. I wasn't losing weight, but I wasn't necessarily gaining weight at the rate that they would have liked me, so it was easily overlooked for me, which is why it went on for so long. So I hope none of you guys have stories quite as dramatic as that, and I do have to say it's been really challenging to manage life as a diabetic and being a new mom. While all of this is going on, my husband and I had decided to move because my husband got a new job. And this is 4 hours away, not near a hospital at all. So now I have type 1 diabetes. I am moving, trying to find a new support system, trying to find a new healthcare provider. And they tell me, no, you can't move to someplace that doesn't have a hospital because maternal fetal medicine needs to come see you 2 to 3 times a week to make sure that your baby is okay. So I ended up having to stay for 6 weeks down in Lower Michigan, Ann Arbor, while my husband moved up north to Manistee. And that was really tough because it was, we're getting ready for baby. I can't help get my nursery ready. I can't move. I can't be with my husband. And I was very hormonal. It was very tough. And then with all of that comes, new insurances. So we're dealing with all the stuff like, oh, it's not covered by your insurance. And we're like, oh, it's just kicking in. So we had a huge amount of medical bills. And then I found out that my job, which is grant funded, was ending. They weren't going to continue funding. So I have to find a new job. And then my grandmother passed away. So we had a lot going on for us in about 6-week period, but we made it through. And how did I make it through? A lot of prayer. I had to have my family make sure that I did a lot of healthy eating. They were watching my sugars like crazy. I have the Dexcom app, and so they can monitor my sugars as well. My husband and my mom, and so they can look and tell me, they text me, your sugars are getting low. Please make sure to, eat some peanuts or something. So anyway, it was a rough go, but we've made it out on the other side, and we're actually doing really well. So I hope that this story helps to inspire others that you can be at a very low point in your life and still make it through, but you have to make it a priority, make your sugars a priority, and know that you are not just living for yourself. You have other people who are, loving you and want to experience life with you. So make sure that you're living life wholly and fully and healthily. So that's all for today, and I will see you guys later. Bye.